Shock Monkey Radio is entertainment for adults by adults, and the views and opinions expressed here do not reflect upon FXBG Public Radio or its sponsors. For additional information, please refer to the United States Bill of Rights. Stand warned. Hello and welcome to Shock Monkey Radio. I'm the Madman. How you doing out there, everybody? You scared of the coronavirus, are you? You've been fighting people in supermarkets, have you? Oh, you stupid, stupid people. You have more danger of opiates, dying of opiates these days, okay? A lot of people contract this coronavirus, this COVID-19, the Wuhan virus, the yellow scourge, as Andrew Clavin calls it. It's not that fatal. You know, people are saying, like, maybe in Wuhan that it had some sort of a viral, pathology lab or something like that, and they're kind of engineering these biological super weapons. And I'll have to tell you, if this is what China's got, I mean, that's no big deal. Think about that. Like, if you're engineering a bioweapon, and the infection rate may be very high, but the mortality rate is extremely low. That's a shitty bioweapon, and so think about that. Think about that. You are more likely probably to get hit by a car or get into a car accident. Oh, EK has something to say?
Only a minor thing.
Okay.
So like the mortality rate is really low, and it's also very specific. Like it's like the elderly,
The
and
elderly.
people with like heart problems or weakened immune systems.
Yeah, it's not so much
It's
kids either.
it's like survival of the fittest is attacking, and people are panicking.
Yeah, well, it makes you wonder: is this the kind of pathological agent that China's been working on, or just they really hate old people? They really hate the boomer generation. They're mad. Maybe that's what it is.
Some young millennial scientist going, "Okay, boomer."
Yep. Exactly. Whatever. It's just boomers. I'm sorry, boomers, if you listen to this podcast, but you probably don't. You don't even know what podcasts are. Sorry. Yeah. So we usually start with our weekends. What's been going on with me? Oh, I've been getting a zit in the inside of my ear because I'm a dirty white boy, and I'm wearing ear pods all the time. And you know how it is if you're a dirty white boy. Dirty white boy. It has to happen. If you're a dirty white boy, you may get a zit in your ear. So now I know this might be gross and stuff like that, but you don't want to mess with it too much. You don't want to mess with it too much because that thing. If you like try to pop it on your own, that's like almost like slitting your wrist. It's like sometimes you don't know if you have the will to actually cut deep enough into your wrist. Sometimes you have that thought, and sometimes you have that thought. It's like, I don't want to be the one who sets this thing off. I'd rather wake up in the middle of the night like I heard a gunshot, and I wake up and it's like, oh, my ear's all gooey. I missed it. That's the best thing that can happen when it comes to a zit inside your ear. So I'm sorry for getting a little gross, but hey, it's happened to us all, right? Unless you're not a dirty white boy. What else? I've been catching up on Netflix. So I watched this really great movie on Netflix, and I highly recommend it to you. It's called Freaks. Now, it's in this world where superpowers develop. People start getting superpowers. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not going to talk too much about the plot line because the plot line is excellent. It's really well written, even though it's 60% feminist and 40% masculine. But it is 100% family, pro-family, But the whole idea of these superpowers manifesting is a metaphor. It's always been a metaphor when it comes to when comic books came out and all these people like superpowers. Superman was like the idea of the Ubermensch. I think that Nietzsche, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think Nietzsche talked about the Superman, this concept, and a couple of Jewish guys came to the United States and New York and created this guy called Superman, literally Superman. And so, email me at madman@fxbgpr.com if I'm getting any of this wrong, because I don't have a mailbag today. Nobody wrote me. I feel so lonely this week. Anyway, so I watched this movie, Freaks, on Netflix, and see, the whole idea of the metaphor of superpowers evolving is that it is a weapon. And they even discuss this in the X-Men movies. It's more pronounced in like mutant dramas where it's like the population, starts becoming Homo superior, like in the comic books. And there is this segment of the population, and they start talking about how Cro-Magnon man was wiped out by Homo erectus and so forth. And that's just the way that evolution goes. And so there may be this time where there is this superior evolution happening in mankind, and then all of a sudden you got people with weapons running around. They talk about this in the X-Men movies. It's like, yeah, I'm people who can teleport into a vault, steal all the money. These are weapons. But it's always been a metaphor for what Batman is, for what the Punisher is. People who don't have superpowers are very interesting in comic books because they are a superhero. Like Batman is considered a quote-unquote superhero. He hangs with the Justice League. He's best buds with Superman and so forth. But he's only human. And so what the superpowers are is a metaphor for the ability of anybody who has a brain and two good hands, even one good hand. Hell, Stephen Hawking was a supervillain in some of my role-playing games, okay? Just because it's fun to, make him a little bit more fun. I'm sure he would have enjoyed that kind of role-playing game. I'm the supervillain. That's awesome. Absolutely. Absolutely, Steve. I'll be the wheelinator. You can come up with a better name than that, dude. Anyway. So the idea of these human beings having a weapon is very much a metaphor for what your head and your hands can do as a human being. And it doesn't matter what gender you identify as. You have a weapon. If you have a thinking, capable mind and you have hands that can execute actions and execute your plans and your the toil that you need to put in for your life, the toil you need to put up to fight evil, if you have that, that's a metaphor for everything you have, your ability. And it's in many ways, it's like a great equalizer. Like they say, the Colt revolver was it made all men equal. And the Colt revolver made all men equal, and it made all men equal, and that included minorities like Chinamen, excuse me, Asians that were in America at the time. The recently, I think it was, the recently freed slaves, obviously, and it was an equalizer. It's like even women were able to use the Colt revolver and defend themselves. And that's what I think the whole two-way thing, the Second Amendment thing, is all about. Is like, you have the capability to protect yourself. You have the capability to fight evil, even if your government is the evil person. That's the whole point of the Second Amendment. Is that if the government gets too tyrannical, you have these things just in case. Nobody wants that to happen, obviously, but this is the point of being a capable, like owning the right to defend yourself and the people you love. So anyway, go watch Freaks, because it has nothing to do with anything I just said. I do think it's an excellent story. I will say I'll give it 11 out of 13 stars. And that's a pretty high rating for me, if you know me. And I have a couple problems with it. And like I said at the beginning, it's 60% feminist and 40% masculine. And at the end of it, there's this a couple times where the dad said, hey, you shouldn't do that to the daughter. And he's right. She shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be doing that, little girl. I don't care how powerful you are or anything like that. You shouldn't be doing that. So I gave it 11 of 13 stars, and it's -2 stars for making me think that overtaking anyone's free will is ever justified. Bastards. Check it out. It's on Netflix. I'm catching up on Netflix myself, and I thought that was an excellent movie. It was an excellent superhero movie in comparison to the superhero, like the Infinity War. The stuff that's coming out now is just such shit. And the Freaks was excellent. We got someone in the chat room? What are you grimacing at?